Germans signed the peace treaty at Versailles last week. I must say, I thought that it would be over when they signed the armistice on the 11th of November. It's taken them nearly 8 months to end this war.
Oh. Well, at least we're going to have a really nice celebration now.
Oh.
Because Gerard Stretfield from Fulbrook House, well, he's chairing the Elstead Peace Celebration Committee.
What are they going to do?
Well, of course, most of the men are back now.
Yes.
So there's going to be a march right the way through the village with games and a pageant.
Oh.
That's on the Saturday, the 19th of July.
Right.
Followed by a dinner and dance in the evening.
Oh.
And look, Godalming's having its civic event at the end of the month with the band of the 2nd Battalion of the Queen's West Surrey's playing.
Hey, that means our Bob will be on parade. Do you think we'll get an invitation?
I don't know. Shall we go and find out?
Yes, let's.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage your chairman, Mr. Gerard Stretfield.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As chairman of the Elstead Peace Celebrations Committee, I'd like to welcome you to this evening's part of our Thanksgiving celebration. And what a celebration it has already been. The service in St. James's this morning, the procession with the band to the park at Burford Lodge, the children's games, and then the pageant. Thanks to everyone who has helped, and particularly to Mrs. Hyde for playing the part of Britannia in the pageant. But ladies and gentlemen, we do indeed have much to give thanks for. After almost 5 years, Germany has signed the final surrender and our boys have mostly been demobbed. As our Prime Minister, Mr. Lloyd George, has said, this must be a land fit for heroes. And have no doubt, ladies and gentlemen, they are indeed heroes. And tonight, we will be giving certificates to recognise the valuable services they have rendered during the Great War. But as we know, we've also lost many of our own. 38 of Elstead's sons have paid the final sacrifice and will not be coming home. They gave their lives so that we can have a better future. And later tonight, we will sound the last post in memory of them. However, to begin the celebrations, let me introduce our choir, and may I encourage you to join in the choruses throughout the evening if you feel so minded.
Here we are, Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. We're called A Rose Between Two Thorns, as you can see why. Chaz, what was that song we were talking about the other day?
Oh yeah, the one about that ragtime band.
Alexander's Ragtime
That's
Band.
the one, yeah.
Shall we see if we can play it? Do you want to sing along with us, ladies and gentlemen? We'll give it a go anyway. Come on here, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on here, it's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you never heard before. So natural that you'll only go to war. That's just the bestest band around. Honey lamb, come on along, let me take you by the hand. Unto the man, who's the leader of the band. And if you get to hear that Swanee River played in ragtime, come on and hear, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on and hear, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on and hear, it's the best band in the land. They can play a bugle call like you never heard before. So natural that you want to go to war. That's just the bestest band around. Honey lamb, come on along, let me take you by the hand. Unto the man, who is the leader of the band. And if you get to hear that Swanee River played in ragtime, come on and hear, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Come on and hear, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Thank you.
Thank you.
What a lovely audience.
When Britain joined the general mobilisation across Europe and we declared war on Germany in August 1914, little did we know what it would mean. At that time, our country did not have conscription, and Lord Kitchener, then Secretary of State for War, immediately started a recruitment campaign. Half of those who signed up from Elstead joined the Queen's Royal West Surrey Regiment at the recruitment office in Bridge Street in Godalming.
Well now, my brave Surrey lads. Help yourself to the landlord's finest ale, compliments of King George himself. And let me tell you what a noble life awaits the true men among you in the great and glorious 5th, West Surrey's own heroic regiment, admired by the rest of the army and feared by all King George's enemies. Think of the opportunity to travel, my boys, to exotic Turkey, to see the Tsar's magnificent palace in Russia, or maybe even to fight the Hun in sunny France. A little bit further than the Tower of London for you Surrey boys, I say. And think of the stories you'll be able to tell the girls when you come home to your villages. And companionship. Now that's the thing, my boys. You'll always have true friends around you and spend many a happy hour in the tavern or canteen. And think of the tales you'll be able to tell your nippers on a cold winter's night, gathered around the fireplace in the years ahead. And if anything unlikely happens, think of the honour of dying for your country. And the medal that your sweetheart will collect. You'll get a brand new uniform, a metal helmet for your head, and strong, sturdy boots for your feet. Complete protection from flying mortars of the odd bullet. You'll get regular meals, the roast beef of old England, the best bread from the wheat fields of your own country. You'll be housed in perfect comfort. And if you join this week, there's a special bonus of £5 payable to each of you. Think of that, my lads. More money than the parson collects on his plate in a month of Sundays. And you'll get your regular pay. 7 shillings a week. And I have here the first shilling for each of you. Now, who's going to be the first to take it? Ah, well done, sir. Well done. What a smart man you are. And he'll sort you out. Now, who else puts the life that every other man will be envious of? You, sir. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you again at Christmas when this war is over.
And Elstead certainly played its part. The rector and our MP, Mr. Horne, stated in September 1914 that they were convinced that there was not another village in the whole country which had done better than Elstead. Our population was only 970, but after 10 weeks of war, we had 99 men serving their king and country, and 6 others had applied but been rejected as unfit. If extended across all villages, this country would have had an army of 4.5 million in 2.5 months. The women played their part in the recruitment as well. Women like Vesta Tilly. Vesta, besides being one of the most famous male impersonators of our day, has also been a star in both Britain and the United States for many years. In the autumn of 1914, she and her husband started a recruitment drive, performing songs like The Army of Today's All Right and Jolly Good Luck to the Girl Who Loves a Soldier. She was very successful, and young men were sometimes asked to join the army on stage during her show.
The Army and the Navy need attention. The outlook isn't healthy, you'll admit. But I've got the perfect dream of a new recruiting scheme, which I really think is absolutely it. If only other girls would do as I do, I believe that we could manage it alone. For I turn all suitors from me, but the sailor and the Tommy. I've an army and a navy of my own. On Sunday I walk out with a soldier. On Monday that's taken by a tar. On Tuesday I'm out with a baby boy scout. On Wednesday I'll hussar. On Thursday I gang out with a sporty. On Friday the lustre to my skin. And I show the raw recruit how to give a chaste salute. So when I'm presenting arms, he's falling in. It makes you almost proud to be a woman, to make a strapping soldier of a kid. And he says you put me through it, and I didn't want to do it, but you went and made me love you, so I did. On Sunday I walk out with a bold sun. On Monday a rifleman in green. On Tuesday I choose a Savin in the blues. On Wednesday a marine. On Thursday a terrier from Tooting. On Friday a midshipman or two. But on Saturday I'm willing, if you'll only take the shilling, to make a man of any one of you. We've watched you playing cricket and every kind of game. At football, golf and polo, you men have made your name. But now your country calls you to play your part in war. And no matter what befalls you, we shall love you all the more. So come and join the forces as your fathers did before. Oh, we don't want to lose you, but we think you ought to go. For your king and your country both need you so. We shall want you and miss you, but with all our might and main, we shall cheer you, thank you, kiss you when you come back again. Oh, we don't want to lose you, but we think you ought to go. For your king and your country both need you so. We shall want you and miss you, but with all our might and main, we shall cheer you, thank you, kiss you when you come back again. Come and join the army today. We need you. We need millions of you. Come and show us how brave you are. Here's a fine, strapping lad. Well done. We need more like him. Come on up. Who's going to join the army today? We need you. We need millions and millions of you to come and fight for our country. Come and fight for your king and your country. Show us your courage. Come on up.
We were very happily married because we were very much in love. We had a friend who had enlisted in Canada and was now stationed in England. He came one night to invite us to the Palace Theatre. He'd booked these tickets and he wanted us to join him. We didn't know what was on, but it was a great treat for us to go. Anyway, when we got there, everything was lovely. But Vesta Tilly was there, recruiting. We wouldn't have gone if we'd known. But we couldn't leave because he very kindly invited us. Then she came on the stage in a beautiful gown, wrapped in a Union Jack. And she introduced that song, "We don't want to lose you, but we think you ought to go." We were sitting in the front and she walked off the stage. She hesitated for a moment and then she put her hand on my husband's shoulder. Boys were coming down from behind us and mounting the stage. I looked around and saw children going up to the young men that had remained seated. They were handing out white feathers, part of the circus, I suppose. My husband got up and he went with her, mounting the stage. I was terribly upset and I begged him not to go. But he said he had to go. There had to be men to go and fight for the women, he said. Otherwise, where would we be? Everyone said the war would be over by Christmas. And I thought he'd come back to me. But he never did. He was killed at the Somme.
All right, lads. Fall in and follow me. Fall in and follow me. Fall in and follow me. Come along and never mind the weather. Walk together. Stand on me, boys. I know the place to go. I'll take you for a spree. You do as I do and you'll do right. Fall in and follow me. Goodbye, goodbye. Wipe the tears, baby dear, from your eye. Though it's hard to God, I know. I'll be till to death to go. Don't sigh. There's a silver lining in the sky. Once more, old thing, cheerio, chin chin. Now move to the loo, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Wipe the tear, baby dear, from your eye. Though it's hard to thought, I know. I'll be tickled to death to go. Don't cry, don't sigh. There's a silver lining in the sky. Once more, old thing, cheerio, chin chin. Now boo to the loo, goodbye.
Here's 40 shillings on the drum for those who volunteer to come, to list and fight the foe today, over the hills and far away. O'er the hills and o'er the main, through Flanders, Portugal and Spain, King George commands and we obey, over the hills and far away. If I should fail to rise no more, as many comrades did before, then ask the fifes and drums to play, over the hills and far away. Then fall in, lads, behind the drum, with colours blazing like the sun, along the roads to come what may, over the hills and far away.
Vester's methods may not have been entirely to everyone's taste, but she earned the title of Britain's best recruiting sergeant. Having only our daughter Violet, Mrs. Stretfield and I have been spared the loss of immediate children, although there can be few of us in the country who have not lost relatives. Indeed, we have been sad to hear of the subsequent deaths of a number of the Canadian officers who stayed with us in Fulbrook House. For Elstead, our biggest sacrifice was at the Battle of Loos in September 1915, where on the second day of the battle, 6 of our boys lost their lives. And while the lads suffered at the front in different theatres, we were not entirely immune when the Germans began their aerial bombardment of England.
Come, come, now and wake eyes at me down at the old bull and bush. Come, come, drink some more wine with me down at the old bull and bush. Hear the little billies and da-da-da-da-da-da, just let me hold your hand dear. Do, come and have a drink or two down at the old bull and bush, bush, bush. Knees up, Mother Brown, knees up, Mother Brown. Under the table you must go, E-I-E-I-E-I-O. If I catch you bending, I'll saw your legs right off. Knees up, don't get the breeze up, knees up, Mother Brown. Oh, what a rotten song, what a rotten song, what a rotten song. Oh, what a rotten song, and what a rotten singer too. Knees up, Mother Brown, knees up, Mother Brown. Under the table you must go, E-I-E-I-E-I-O. If I catch you bending, I'll saw your legs right off. Knees up, don't get the breeze up, knees up, Mother Brown.
Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up. Frank, Mia, nice to see you. Why the frown? Sit yourself down. Why so blunt, chum?
I just heard the word. Rita told Peter, then Ken told them, and then they told me.
I don't see.
I thought you'd know, Joe. Guildford was bombed.
Guildford was bombed?
Guildford was bombed in the night.
What a fright.
It was a fright in the night, and they used Zeppelins to drop them in.
More than one?
Delve into 12.
12? Last night?
At midnight.
12 at 12?
So Guildford's been clean in 1915, and in October it's done over.
Your nurse?
Not according to Bert. He told me there was only one casualty. The Kaiser Bill.
You've given me a chill. Kaiser Bill was bed and board in our Guildford?
No, you old dill, not that Bill. It was the belligerent Swan that has gone.
They dropped a bomb on a swan. Do you remember when I dropped Peg's eggs when it bit my legs?
Yeah, when it bit the conductor's hand when he was conducting the band.
Funny though, the Hun didn't go for his gun, but had the nounce to pounce from the skies through all his lies. He aimed his bomb at a swan that was sitting still called Kaiser Bill. It's good to know that they can show that they can score an own goal. Yes.
Oh, dear. Oh, well, it's all right. You've got a drink. What about this? Dear, oh, dear. Oh, it's the governor.
That was the only Zeppelin attack on this part of the country, and we later found out that it was a pure accident. The commander of the Zeppelin had been ordered to attack the waterworks at Hampton. On his return to Germany, he reported that the mission had been accomplished. He failed to mention the Swan. There were other problems, of course. U-boat attacks on merchant shipping were preventing supplies from getting through, and food shortages were becoming severe.
Oh, hello, Julia. How are you doing?
Ah, could be worse, I suppose. Here, you heard from your Jack lately?
Yes, got a letter last week. Took a week to get here, mine. And the censor left his grubby fingerprints all over it. Made it hard to read parts of it.
How's he getting on?
Oh, well, not too good by the sounds of it. He says they spend most of their times getting water out of the trenches or digging new latrines. Doesn't mention casualties, though. Probably trying to stop me worrying. But I know for a fact that 5 Elstead men died at Loos last year. And he knew 2 of them well. He does complain about the cold a lot, though. Says he can't feel his feet most of the time. My eldest has just got a job at the Weyburn Engineering Factory, so hopefully I'll be able to knit Jack some nice thick warm socks and jumpers.
The Weyburn Factory, that's the one down Pepperharrow Road, isn't it?
Yeah, just before Somerset Bridge. My Tommy says they make shafts or something like that for military vehicles.
Oh, yeah. Well, I hope he gets more than our Michael. He was 13 this year when he left school, and he's got a job at Red House Farm. He's working 12 hours a day, and he's only bringing home 6 shillings a week. Bill Smith says that before the war, the men were working less hours and earning twice as much.
Well, it's the same for the women, you know. Doing a man's job for half the pay. It's about time they did something about it.
At least your boys are safe. My daughter is working in a munition factory up near London. Did you read about that explosion in Silverton? Over 60 people killed, 400 injured. I can't sleep at night for worrying about her.
My next door neighbour's got 2 girls at the front. They joined the voluntary detachment in 1915. I think they've been in France for about 2 years now.
Well, we're all worried, Mavis. Well, maybe your Dora should go and find herself a different job. Not with all the men away at the moment. There are plenty of them about. I've just applied for a job, a guard's job on the railway. So, you know, what with the price of food going up every day, and I'm spending 30 bob a week on it already.
Yeah, and for things with bread made with dried turnips, oh, I seem to be spending half the day sitting on the toilet.
They should be using Elstead carrots. No one ever got ill eating them.
Ball beef and carrots. Ball beef and carrots. Something about carrots.
You nearly got the whole queue singing with you then. Thank the Lord you only knew those words.
Oh, I was surprised I knew that much.
Oh, God only knows what Jack's eating over there. They put a brave face on it, but I can tell they don't get enough to eat. Maybe if I get this guard job, I might be able to send in some food over.
If you can get it. I've been standing here for over 40 minutes. I haven't moved an inch. It makes you sick. All those lords and ladies up in London eating like kings. We can't have enough to feed a rabbit. They should introduce rationing and make it the same for everyone.
Well, it's them U-boat things sinking all the merchant ships. There's not enough food getting through.
Yeah, they seem to be sinking everything, no matter what nationality. How long is it since the Lusitania sunk? Nearly 2 years. 1,200 people killed, most of them Yanks, and they didn't even bat an eyelid.
Oh well, there's not much we can do about it. One day, please God, our men will be returning. They are hundreds of miles away, dreaming of home. And we've got to make sure there's a home for them to come back to.
Though your lads are far away.
presence of all the Canadian troops billeted locally and at Whitley Camp also put additional strains on our resources. I'm not saying that we weren't happy to welcome them, of course, but it was difficult with all the younger men away. Training was important, and I like to think we played our part in preparing the young soldiers for the front. There were so many out on the common in all weathers. But early in the war, I was instrumental in creating a rifle club in the village for both men and women, also some juniors. We built a rifle range and inaugurated it on a damp and cold day in January 1915.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, may I say what a great pleasure it is for me to be here today as president of the Elstead Miniature Rifle Club on this auspicious occasion. And we are most grateful to Mr. Gerard Stratfield, our secretary, who not only provided the land but arranged for the building of the range. We'll also have with us our eminent MP, Mr. E.W. Horn. You're most welcome, sir.
I'm most honoured to be here. Elstead is very forward-looking in creating a rifle range like this. I know of a similar club in a village in Sussex, and the army there said that if a recruit already knew how to handle a rifle, it saved 2 out of the 6 months training normally required before a soldier can be sent to the fighting line.
Well, now we need somebody to fire the first shot to open this range. Mr. Stratfield, this has been your creation. Would you care to fire the first round?
Oh, that's very kind, but no, I think one of the ladies should do so.
Yes. Well, of course, we are delighted that amongst our present 48 members, we have 7 ladies and 6 juniors. But as you say, Mr. Horn, we are extremely forward-thinking and forward-looking here in Elstead. I am a little concerned that the ladies have had sufficient technical advice on this matter, the use of the rifle. Perhaps you would honour us by firing the first round, Mr. Horn?
Oh, I'd be delighted.
Good. Well done.
Thank you. I declare this rifle range to be duly open.
And look, Mr. Horn got a bullseye.
Horn's balls off! Did you drop a target?
Well, now, perhaps one of the ladies would like to try. Ah, Mrs. Watson, how very brave of you.
Must be careful where you point a loaded gun, ma'am. That's how accidents happen. Here, allow me. Take the rifle, point it at the target. Look through the little notch on the end there. Point the rifle towards the target. Squeeze the trigger. Be careful, there might be a slight recoil.
Well done. Well done.
The trick is, Mrs. Watson, is to imagine the target is someone that you really hate.
In that case, I'll have another go.
It's a bullseye, Private.
Good gracious. What on earth were you thinking of, Mrs. Watson, when you shot that rifle? Kaiser Bill?
No, him. Blaming politicians. We should shoot them all.
Mind you, it gave the village a great boost in May 1915 when we were honoured and privileged to have a visit from His Majesty the King himself.
Come on, you two, get a bleeding move on. The boss will have you before you've half finished that trench.
Oh, give us a break, Sarge. There ain't no one on Elstead Common.
5 times you've done this blooming trench, and each time you make us redo it.
It's because you're not doing it right, are you? Anyway, didn't you know there's an important visiting party here today?
Oh no, not another load of flaming generals.
It's not a general this time, my boy. Have a look at that bloke up there on his horse.
Well, he certainly looks like a general. Look at that brave, not uniform he's wearing.
No, that, in case you didn't know, Private, is His Majesty King George V himself.
Well, what's he doing in uniform?
Well, he happens to be our Commander-in-Chief, so of course he has to wear a uniform when he comes to visit his troops.
He didn't ride all the way from Windsor especially.
Of course not. He left his car on Church Green and got on his horse to come and see you lot.
You mean to tell me he'd come all the way over there to watch us dig this hole?
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't come and look at this one. Call that a defensive position. I've a good mind to tell you to fill it in and start again.
No, Court, please.
You'll be grateful when you get to France, when your life depends on your trench.
Oh, give us a break, Sarge. Look, we'll get it right when we do it for real.
No, you won't. You'll do it now.
When this lousy war is over, no more soldiering for me. When I get my civic clothes on, oh, how happy I shall be. No more church parade on Sundays, no more putting in for leave. I will miss the Sergeant Major, how I'll miss him, how he'll grieve.
Come on, you two, get back to bleeding work!
Land of hope and glory, mother of the free, how shall we extol thee, those that are born of thee? Wider still and wider shall thy bounds be set. God who made thee mighty, make thee mightier yet. God who made thee mighty, make thee mightier yet.
The armistice was signed on the 11th of November last year, but the process of returning nearly 4 million troops to their loved ones has been slow and laborious.
Jane? Jane!
Oh, hello, Alice.
Jane, did you hear? The Canadian soldiers invaded Whitley camp that caused a riot.
Yes, apparently they smashed up Tin Town.
Tin Town?
You know, the shops they built along the Portsmouth Road.
Oh, yes. I was speaking to Constable Kennedy and he said it was awful how the locals were treating the poor soldiers. He said that the Canadian soldiers had to ask the English soldiers or the locals to buy things for them because they couldn't afford the prices they're being charged.
No, the prices they charge us are bad enough.
I don't understand what they're all still doing here. The war's been over for 6 months now. Why haven't they sent them home?
Well, I was reading about this in the Express the other day. Apparently there were issues with lack of ships to send them home, and the Canadian railways couldn't cope. And it's the same elsewhere. But it's not only the foreign troops that are getting frustrated. There were mutinies last year in Calais and Folkestone, and they're British. Here, you know what's going on. Mr. Armstrong.
Oh, good morning, ladies. Lovely day.
You're a council member, aren't you, Mr. Armstrong? Do you know what the problem is with the soldiers?
Ah, well, I'm afraid it's the usual story, bad planning. The government formed a committee back in 17, headed by Lord Derby, to get demobilisation organised when the war eventually ended. There were 4 million men to get home and they knew it would be a problem. They decided to give preference to the key industries to go home first. But then, because they were from the key industries, they were the last to have joined up, so it became last in, first out. Everybody complained. It wasn't until Winston Churchill was appointed to the job in January, something was done. He created a new system based on age, number of years service, and the number of times a man had been wounded.
But this still doesn't explain all these random acts of violence that have been going on. I read that the Canadian soldiers broke into Epsom police station last night, causing a riot, and a policeman was killed.
What about Rill? There was a mutiny there last March, and some of the soldiers were shot.
Between you and me, ladies, I've heard there's a lot of dissatisfaction going on between the rank and file regarding their treatment, and that's what's been fueling these violent outbursts. Let's hope something gets sorted soon.
Yes, well, at least these new rules mean my Freddie was back in March. Although he hasn't been wounded, he's been away for about 3 years now. He was sent away. Mind you, he hasn't got a job at all yet, and he's still recovering from being there.
And so many are catching the Spanish flu. I heard Mrs. Daniels' Robert went down with it on Tuesday, and he was dead by Wednesday night.
Robert? But he's only 23 and he's strong.
I know, but it seems worse for those in their 20s.
Someone told me there's more people have died from the flu worldwide than all the fighting put together.
Really? But it just makes you think, doesn't it?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, on your behalf, the Peace Celebrations Committee will present framed certificates to some of the 250 men from Elstead who served their country in the armed services. First, Private Frederick Howard of 2 Allendale Cottages, Thursley Road. Private Howard joined the Queen's West Surrey Regiment on 3rd December 1915 and served with distinction until he was demobbed on 16th March this year. He was awarded the 1915 Star, the British War Medal and the Victory Medal. The certificate reads, presented by the inhabitants of Elstead to Frederick Michael Howard in recognition of valuable services rendered during the Great War. and it's signed this 19th day of July 1919 by myself, Gerard Stretfield, as chairman of the Elstead Peace Celebrations Committee. Private Howard.
Thank you for this. I'm truly honoured. But I would just like to say that I'm also accepting this in honour of my uncle, Arthur Howard, who, as many of you will know, was killed in battle on the 17th of October 1917 and is laid to rest at Tynecott. Thank you.
Of course, the war was not only sadness and grief. In Elstead and throughout our great nation, we have borne the hardships with remarkable fortitude. We have organised local dances and get-togethers, the pubs have stayed open, and of course the music hall has been most popular. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to have an interval, but upon our return, we will have the party to end all parties as we invite you to our very own music hall. Thank you.
Afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet
gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Bob and Henry.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you're all enjoying yourselves. Is there anybody there? Are you all enjoying yourselves? Last night's audience was better than that. Right then, that's half a crown they owe me. Tonight's show is full of awe and wonder, because we haven't finished yet. We've got some wonderful acts for you. We've got a one-armed juggler, we've got more singing from the choir, and we've got Sebastian, the extremely long sword swallower. What?
Ah, yes. Well, I'm afraid we've got a problem then.
What is it?
Well, you see, Sebastian, the extremely long sword swallower, was on the train on his way here when he thought it was a good time to practice his act.
Well, that seems reasonable to me.
Yes, not for him, though. You see, he was swallowing his extremely long sword, and the train hit the tracks hard. And he managed to skewer himself to the floor. Now apparently he's just outside Aberdeen.
That's terrible.
Well, at least he's got somewhere to put his hat now.
Is that why you're 2 hours late?
Ah, no, I've been to the hospital.
Hospital? Why? What is it?
It's a big building with doctors and nurses.
Hospital? What's the matter with you?
Well, you keep saying that the problem with me is...
Not in front of the ladies and gentlemen.
Have they paid? Fools. Yes, you see, it was because of the bus.
Bus? What bus?
Well, the one we were pushing up the hill.
What hill?
Well, you see, we were on the bus on the way here, and it ran out of petrol. So we all got off and we pushed it up to the top of the hill. And then it freewheeled down the other side, and we didn't manage to get back on it.
Is he making any sense to you? No. Well, he certainly isn't making any sense to me.
Then we got a lift in the ambulance.
An ambulance now?
But that was because of the crash.
Crash? What crash?
Well, you see, when the bus got down to the bottom of the hill, it managed to crash into a department store. Surprised perfume girl to now find herself sitting on the top deck.
Why didn't the bus driver stop it?
Well, because he'd been at the back pushing with the rest of us.
He should have stayed on it.
Oh.
Was anybody hurt?
Well, my banjo was a mess.
Oh, thank heaven for small mercies. Anyone else?
Well, there was this one guy. He was crying. He said he was dying. Because when he pressed his head, it was agony. And then when he pressed his chest, it was agony. And then when he pressed his stomach, it was agony. And then when he pressed his...
Oh, my word. Was he dying?
No, it turns out he had a broken finger.
I can't take any more of this. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, all the way from Bow, Burlington Bertie, whilst him and I go and sort this out. Come on.
Perhaps you've heard of me, but or had word of me strolling along, hearty and strong, living on plights of fresh air. I dress up in fashion, and when I am feeling depressed, I shave from my cuff the whiskers and fluff, stick my hat on and toddle up west. I'm Burlington Bertie, I rise at 10:30, saunter along like a toff. I walk down the Strand with my gloves on my head, then I walk down again with them off. I'm all ears and greases, correct easy paces, without food so long I forgot where my face is. I'm but I haven't a shirt, but my people are well off.
a big problem.
Oh. Yeah. 'Cause we had to move away. Oh. 'Cause the rent we couldn't pay. Oh. Yeah. The moving van came round just after dark. There was me and my old man shoving things inside the van, which we'd often done before, let me remark. We packed all that we could pack in the van, and that's a fact. I could have done with a nice strong fella like you. Then we got inside all we could get inside. Then we packed all we could pack on the tailgate at the back. Wait for it. Till there wasn't any room for me to ride. Then my old man said, follow the van and don't dilly-dally on the way. Off went the van with me old pants in it. I followed on with me old coddle in it. And I dillied and dallied, dallied and dillied, lost the way and don't know where to roam. Oh, you can't trust a special like the old-time copper when you can't find your way home. Ta-da! Who were you with last night? Who were you with last night? It wasn't your sister, it wasn't your mom. Who were you with last night? Out in the pale moonlight. Are you gonna tell your missus when you get home who you were with last night?
If you were the only girl in the world, and I were the only boy, nothing else would matter in the world today. We could go on loving in the same old way. A garden of Eden, just me for two, with nothing to mar our joy. I would say such wonderful things to you. There would be such wonderful things to do if you were the only girls in the world and I were the only boy.
If I were the only girl in the world and you were the only boy, nothing else would matter in the world today. We would go
Right then, I think that's that sorted. Yes? Right.
Extra, extra, read all about it. 2 Elstead men defrauded, newspaper scandal.
Hang on, Henry, I think I'd like to have a read about this. Here, I'll take one. There you go.
Thank you.
God, they still do them up really tight, don't they?
So what does it say then?
Well, it doesn't seem to say anything about anybody being defrauded, it? Here, I want my money back.
Newspaper scandal, 3 Elstead men defrauded.
I was going to give her a tip as well.
I was just giving you yesterday's newspaper. Right then. Oh, hang on, it's John
Whoa.
Quick.
We're public guardians, bold yet wary,
And of ourselves we take good care.
to risk our precious lives we're chary.
When danger looms, we're never there.
But if we meet a helpless woman,
Little boys that do no harm,
we run them in,
we run them in,
we run them in,
we run them in, we show them where the bold gendarmes.
we run them in,
We run them in,
we run them in,
we run them in, we show them where the bold gendarmes.
Sometimes we've duties extramural.
Then little butterflies we chase.
We like to gamble in things rural.
Commune with nature face to face.
Unto our beat, then back returning.
Refreshed by nature's holy charm.
We run them in,
We run them in,
we run them in,
we run them in, we show them where the bold gendarmes.
we run them in,
We run them in,
we run them in,
we run them in, we show them where the bold gendarmes.
If gentlemen do tend to riot
And punch each other's heads at night,
we're quite disposed to keep it quiet.
provided that they make it right.
But if they do not seem to see it,
Or give to us our proper terms,
we run them in,
we run them in,
we run them in,
we run them in, we show them where the bold gendarmes.
we run them in,
We run them in,
we run them in,
we run them in, we show them where the bold gendarmes.
Lady's pride and joy, falls in love with Kayte and Jane.
say there's a troop ship just leaving Bombay, bound for the old blighty shore, heavily laden with time-expired men, bound for the land they adore. There's many's an airman just finishing his time, many's a twerp signing on. You'll get no promotion this side of the ocean, so cheer up, my lads, bless them all.
Bless them all, bless them all, the long and the short and the tall. Bless all the sergeants and WO1s, bless all the corporals and their blinking sons, as we're saying goodbye to them all. As back to their billets they crawl. This side of the ocean, so cheer up, my lads, bless them all.
They say if you work hard, you'll get better pay. We've heard all that before. Clean up your buttons and polish your boots. Scrub out the barrack room floor. There's many's a rookie has taken it in, hook, line and sinker and all. You'll get no promotion this side of the ocean, so cheer up, my lads, bless them all.
Bless them all, bless them all, the long and the short and the tall. Bless all the sergeants and WO1s, bless all the corporals and their blinking sons, as we're saying goodbye to them all. As back to their billets they crawl. This side of the ocean, so cheer up, my lads, bless them all.
They say if you work hard, you'll get better pay. We've heard all that before. Clean up your buttons and polish your boots. Scrub out the barrack room floor. There's many's a rookie has taken it in, hook, line and sinker and all. You'll get no promotion this side of the ocean, so cheer up, my lads, bless them all.
Bless them all, bless them all, the long and the short and the tall. Bless all the sergeants and WO1s, bless all the corporals and their blinking sons, as we're saying goodbye to them all. As back to their billets they crawl. This side of the ocean, so cheer up, my lads, bless them all.
They say that the sergeant's a very nice man. We've heard all that before. He's a very nice man. Ask him for leave on a Saturday night. He'll pay your fare home as well. There's many's an airman has blighted his life, writing rude words at the wall. You'll get no promotion this side of the ocean, so cheer up, my lads, bless them all.
Bless them all, bless them all, the long and the short and the tall. Bless all the sergeants and WO1s, bless all the corporals and their blinking sons, 'cause we're saying goodbye to them all. As back to their billets they crawl. You'll get no promotion this side of the ocean, so cheer up, my lads, bless them all. Bless them all, bless them all, the long and the short and the
I'd sing this merry song. Evening all, stop right there, you lot move along. Evening all, stop right there, you lot move along.
If I were not on the stage, what else is there for I were not upon the stage, a nurse is what I'd be. And as I walk along, you'd hear me sing this song. Take your tablets, drink your tea, it's just a little prick. Take your tablets, drink your tea, it's just a little prick.
Evening all, stop right there, you lot move along. Evening all, stop right there, you lot move along.
If I were not upon the stage, what else is there for me? If I were not upon the stage, a ballet dancer me. And as I walk along, you'd hear me sing this song. Ha-da-da, touch my toes, pirouette a rat. Ha-da-da, touch my toes, pirouette a rat. Ha-da-da, touch my toes, pirouette a rat. Ha-da-da, touch my toes, pirouette a rat.
Evening all, stop right there, you lot move along. Evening all, stop right there, you lot move along.
If I were not upon the stage, what else is there for me? If I were not upon the stage, a fireman I would be. And as I walk along, you'd hear me sing this song. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out.
If I were not upon the stage, what else is there for me? If I were not upon the stage, a land girl I would be. And as I walked along, you'd hear me sing this song. Milk the cows, pick the fruit, go and kill the rats. Milk the cows, pick the fruit, go and kill the rats.
Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out.
If I were not upon this stage, what else is there for me? If I were not upon this stage, a baker I would be. And as I walked along, you'd hear me sing this song. Whisk the mixture, knead the dough, and put it in the oven. Whisk the mixture, knead the dough, and put it in the oven. Whisk the mixture, knead the dough, and
Go and kill the rats.
whisk the mixture, knead the dough, and
Go and kill the rats.
Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out. Turn the tap, up the ladder, put the fire out.
bells are ringing for me and my girl. The birds are singing for me and my girl. Everybody's been going to a wedding they're going, and for weeks they've been sewing every city and sound. They're congregating for me and my girl. The parson's waiting for me and my girl. And sometime we're gonna live a little for two or three or four or more in Loveland for me and my After the ball is over, after the break of dawn, after the dancers leaving, after the stars are gone, many a heart is aching. If you could bring them all, many a hopes that have vanished after the ball. After the ball is over, after the break of dawn, after the dancers leaving, after the stars are gone, many a heart is aching. If you could bring them all, many the hopes that have vanished after the
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that was the best bit of singing I've heard this evening since this afternoon's rehearsal. Let's give the choir another big round of applause. You'll be pleased to hear I've managed to lose the other guy, so maybe... Where did you run from?
Just there. Oh, Stitch. I got locked in the dressing room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't happen to see him, did you? I mean, you were there at the time.
No, I didn't see anything. Dear, I thought when your rich uncle died, you were going to buy one of those motor car things. So what were you doing on a bus?
Ah, yes. How about that?
You mean he didn't die?
Well, waste of a good suit if he hadn't.
So what did he leave?
Everything.
What did he leave to you?
Ah, nothing.
But I thought he liked you as he loved his son.
Yes, and he sent him 10,000 miles away.
You didn't get on then?
No, not since I put laxatives in his cocoa.
Laxatives?
Yeah, well, I thought he'd asked for some lax in his cocoa. Turns out what he'd actually said is, where's my relaxing cocoa?
So, how many did you put in? 2? 3?
Well, I put in the whole bottle.
The whole bottle?
Yeah. It took him 3 hours to get home and he only lived half a mile away.
I'm surprised. Do you know, that's just the sort of stupid thing you would do. I hope you've learnt your lesson.
Yeah, certainly have. It meant I had no money to pay the locksmith to get me out of the dressing room. Thank crikey they locked me in your dressing room and I found your wallet.
What? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the choir back. Bob, wait a minute!
It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary.
They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end, against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. They mingle not with their laughing comrades again. They sit no more at familiar tables of home. They have no lot in our labour of the daytime. They sleep beyond England's foam.
Shall my soul sleep in
Tonight we have sung songs and remembered events which have kept us together through those dark days, stretching to almost 5 years of the Great War now thankfully ended. These songs, so much part of our lives, will always be with us, and we shall never forget them, nor the memories of those sacrifices and daily struggles we have all endured. And as we sing those songs, we will remember those who will never hear their sounds again, and particularly those gallant 38 men of Elstead. We owe it to them, and to those who still suffer from wounds or hardship from the perils of the valiant service they gave to king and country, to strive together to make our village, our county and our country a better place, a place fit for heroes and for future generations. How gratifying it would be to think that beyond our lifetimes, in 100 years' time, those then lucky enough to be living in Elstead will remember with pride our part in this agonizing period of our nation's life. Ladies and gentlemen, as we honour our dear King, His Majesty, King George V, we stand for the national anthem.
God save our gracious King, long live our noble King, God save our King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the King.
Do sit down if you'd like. I won't be very long, but I do hope you've enjoyed this evening's performance. I can never remember my words, so I've had to write this little speech down. I just wanted to say a few words since this is our last performance. As far as I'm aware, Pets has never ever attempted to produce or put on a show anything like this. It has been an absolutely Herculean effort by everybody. Everybody involved, and I mean absolutely everybody. An enormous amount of work has gone into putting all this together, and I would like to publicly thank you and your families for your perseverance and understanding throughout this long process. I pay tribute to all of your efforts: the cast, wardrobe, music, lighting, sound, backstage, props, makeup, hair, front of house, kitchen, and of course the bar staff. I hope I haven't left anybody out. Well, the audience has been wonderful. With such a daunting original project, we have, of course, had a few difficulties along the way. But we have come through them all and produced a superb show. Elstead should be very proud of what you have all achieved. I would also like particularly to thank the company NEP for their support in this mammoth production. They have been extremely generous and helpful with both their time and their money, so we are most grateful to NEP. There is, however, one individual who should be recognised above all others. Because without this person's patience and understanding, this whole show would have fallen very flat. I refer, of course, to our lovely keyboard accompanist, Ali Patterson. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed it. A safe journey home. It's cold and icy out there, so take care.